One of the things that you talk about in the book quite a bit is if you love anybody, it doesn't mean anything unless you're willing at least to love everybody.
Yeah. I hate
But you were
that.
also, yeah, you hate that, right? Well, you were also a famously out there San Francisco lefty.
Yeah.
So, how'd you do with the Trump years? How was it for you? All that universal love when Donald Trump was president.
Well, some days are just too long. That's the reality. And that, my great friend Tom Weston, I get credit for this line, but he said, you can tell you've created God in your own image because God hates all the same people you do. And that to me is what the Christian right is all about. I believe that they look through the scripture, both the New Testament and the Hebrew Bible, looking for people to hate, and then they are able to relax. And I had to go look in the mirror, and I had to see that it wasn't them that was the problem, that I'm the problem. I love what Martin Luther King said, don't let them get you to hate them. And I thought about that every single day of Trump, because I was apoplectic a lot, and but we do what's possible, we do what's possible. And what was possible was for me to go to a lot of marches. And what was possible for me was to give away money whenever I could to the ACLU and to the lawyers representing the children at the border. And then when COVID struck, he had a year of COVID and not one good thing except for data came out of it. So I did what I could. I went to Safeway and I filled paper bags full of canned foods and powdered goods and, Oreos for the kids. And I drove over to the food pantry in our area where all the people who are of service live, who have the highest incident of COVID. And I dropped it off and I came back home and I did what I could. And I did my spiritual work and I kept looking in the mirror to see what, the prayer had to be for me, bless them and change me. And I gave out at least a dozen copies of Arlie Hochschild's amazing book, Strangers in Their Own Land, where this UC Berkeley sociologist in a bubble here with me, I'm in her bubble actually sometimes in real life, went to Appalachia, went to Baton Rouge, went to the outside of the big cities of Louisiana, and she became a friend to the people who thought that Trump was on their side, and she listened. The most profound thing we do, she sat and listened. She wasn't going to change them, and they sure weren't going to change her, but she ate with them. She went to church with them. She sat on the porch and rocked with them. And so I gave that to everyone because that's what changes you molecularly, is that kind of love from people with whom you have almost nothing in common.